Benzema. Salah. Oh, wow. Huge shot. It's given straight away. Yet again fails.
Hello and welcome to the Double Podcast. I am your co-host Andrew, and I'm joined alongside my fellow co-host Marissa for another special World Cup discussion program, whatever you want to call it. Marissa, how are you? Let's start with the formalities first. How are you?
Hey, good man. How about you?
I'm not too bad. I'm not too bad. It feels a bit strange, having a day before any football at all, but we're back tomorrow. Or they're back
All
tomorrow.
right. There was actually it's so funny. Um, what day it was? I think it was last week. When did the quarterfinal start?
I can't remember.
I think it was Wednesday, right?
Might have
Wednesday,
been
Thursday. No, Thursday. It was Thursday because
Thursday.
it was Thursday, Friday, then to Saturday. So it was so funny because usually when there was no football, there was still the Women's World Cup going on. So I still had that. So literally, I had a day last week where there was no football on, there was no cricket on, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do at work now? Work? Like,
Yeah.
it's like it was so strange just to have nothing on. So yeah, it's definitely weird going from like sometimes what 4 games a day to zero. So yeah.
I just want to take this moment, right, to educate the viewers on a little something called nepotism
Oh
because
my gosh.
Marissa works for her parents. So, like,
Wow. That's
like,
not why.
like what
My
she said,
father like football, so
but
he's
like,
going on. So.
like what you said, in any other career or job, would you be able to say, what am I supposed to do now? Work. So, like, you see, they're just entitlement people. What happens?
What I meant was,
I
what am I
listen.
supposed to do in addition to work? That's what I meant. That's what I meant. That's what
Fair
hurt.
enough. I'm just pulling your leg. So let's get into it. Tonight's show we have not just two segments, but I'm sure they're full of talking points. We're going to start with a quick review of the quarterfinal fixtures, and then we move on to a preview of the semifinals, which take place Tuesday and Wednesday this week. So let's start with the quarterfinal, and the first game that took place would have been France versus Morocco. I think France ran out 2-0 winners, if I'm not mistaken. So,
Mhm.
Martha, what were your thoughts on the game? Anything that surprised you?
No, the result was pretty much expected. I found in that first half, especially the tempo was a bit slow, and I think that suited Morocco. That's exactly what they wanted. I think I was a bit disappointed in Morocco because, I mean, let's be fair, they did have a lot of games that probably took a lot out of them in terms of going to extra time and penalties and stuff. But I was a bit disappointed. It didn't really seem to offer much. But I always expected France to win, but I was looking forward to this quarterfinal the most because I felt it was the tastier for me. Um, so yeah, I was a bit disappointed in Morocco, but France expected winners. Like I told you, I feel this World Cup, and we will get to it in another game. I feel in this World Cup, the world class quality is really showing up, and is really was getting teams over the line. And eventually, because France has so many of them, one player is gonna step up. Um, the penalty incident was a bit of a farce. I thought that the wait for that penalty was crazy. I expected after that he would have missed, but Mbappe really stepped up, scored a fantastic goal. Dembele with the icing on the cake, and comfortable win for France, I believe, because they weren't really tested, in my opinion.
Okay. I agree with you. I think that the game, the way in which it played out, was surprising. I expected France to win, but I wouldn't have expected it to be such a formality, right?
Yeah, routine.
I think like you said, Morocco didn't really offer much, and I think that was the most surprising thing. But when I reflect on it, I felt as though they had a big blow ahead of the game because their main striker Sabari got injured. So I'm not sure if
Mhm.
being, but he wasn't available. It meant that they had to play a different way. But you would have hoped, you would have expected, you would have wanted to see Morocco offer more threat, more desire, more intent going forward. Um, like you said, even though Mbappe missed the penalty, France was on top from the start of the game until the end, and it was, once the first goal and second goal went in quickly thereafter, there was no way back from Morocco. So France deservedly shooting that from. And that, I guess, will bring us the who France will play in the semi-final, but first the quarterfinal, Spain versus Belgium. I just gonna let you go on this one because I didn't get to watch this game. Um, but yeah, so I'll just let you give me your thoughts if you saw it, what you thought.
I only saw. Oh yeah, I did see this game Friday. Yeah. Um, Spain does bore me. I don't know where we start, but it's like no, they don't have great players. They do, but
Mhm.
okay, let me give you an example. So anytime I look at the schedule and I see France, I was like, I really want to watch this game. When I see Spain players, just be like, they don't excite me. Is what I mean to say. Belgium scored the first goal, I believe.
Yeah,
Right? I'm double.
wait, no, why did Spain go
Yeah.
first?
Oh no, Spain for scored. Did I watch this game?
Yeah, Spain scored first,
What
then
did I
Belgium
think? Belgium.
equalized right before halfway.
Oh yes, yes. Okay, okay. Now I remember the game. Yeah, Belgium didn't really offer much either because I did feel like their equalizer was utterly blue.
Right.
Um, I felt like Spain really dominated the game. Um, Again, Belgium are a side that I don't want to say I was disappointed because I feel like this is typical Belgium. Like to me, for the talent and the quality that they have, I feel like they should offer more, in my opinion. But I think this was the first goal Spain conceded for the tournament. Am I right in saying that?
I am not sure. It may have been, but
Yeah, let me do a quick check, but I think so because honestly, that's what's this is typical Spain. Spain
you
know
might
how to
you might be right.
suffocate
You
and
might be right. You might be right. I
draw
don't
up
think that
goals. Yeah,
Spain
I
conceded
think
before this game.
yeah, and that's fantastic. You have to give credit where credit is due for that. Um, and to Spain's credit as well, you wouldn't really say that their star players, specifically Yamal, you wouldn't say that he's having a fantastic tournament, but the guy Oya, whose name I could never pronounce, Oya Zarbal, that's how
For
it's pronounced
example,
it.
you know what? It might not pronounce it well. I think I can.
Yeah, I won't even
I think it's
bother.
Orzabal or some of that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think he's really stepped up for them with some
Mhm.
clutch goals, but clutch, Mikel Marino, like, give Jack his jacket. I think he's the first sub to score two winners in knockout games or something like that. Give credit where credit is due. And I think that again, it shows the importance. I was talking to my father as well about this. The importance of having a squad. It's not just about the first 11. You have to have a squad of players that you could turn to that bench and somebody could come off the bench and change the game. And I feel like Belgium don't have that really, to be honest. But Spain do. Mikel Moreno has really stepped up for them. And to be fair, he's not a player that when Arsenal signed him, for instance, he's not a player that I went, wow, like I didn't really rate him that highly. But even for Arsenal, he always comes up with clutch goals. And I think having a player like that is really important. May not be the most talented, may not be the easiest on the eye, but to have that player that you know you can turn to and they can deliver is invaluable. And I think that that's important, especially in a tournament where, like I said, I don't think Yamal is having the best tournament, even by his own admission. I think Rodri has been good in midfield. Um, but yeah, I Spain just continue to march on because they're just so is it impervious is the word like you hardly get chances against Spain. At least the teams that they've played so far, they've hardly created much. So yeah, I give credit where credit is due to them.
Fair enough. You're not the first person this World Cup that has said to me that they have tended to feel like Spain bores them. Um, but unlike you, the other person, they really want Spain to go home for that reason because they feel as though Spain bored them.
Why does it sound like Christopher?
It was a Christopher, is a colleague of mine from work,
Oh, okay. Well,
a female actually.
okay.
So,
Okay.
but what I would say though, like I
Yeah,
said,
they're just
I didn't
like,
watch the game, and I think
mm-hmm.
this was a game that I think when I looked at the quarterfinal, this also felt like a formality. Like I expected Spain to go through.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
Me and you disagree slightly because you said that Belgium have this, great pool of players or good squad of players
They
that you
said,
would. Pardon?
I think what I meant was they have the players that I feel that they should be offering more
Okay,
in games like these. Throughout the tournament, actually, I feel like they have players that they have underperformed for me as a team to the extent that I didn't expect because of the players they have. I think that's the better way of saying it. But go ahead.
right. Which is fair. Not saying you're entirely wrong, but my position on Belgium is that, oh, my uncle would say, my uncle and me will often say, the best then come up with you. And that's why we look at Belgium. The best then come up with them. In terms of this crop, they almost feel like as though they're at the end of a cycle. People talk about the golden generation that in between 2014 and 2018 that didn't win anything with the companies
Mm-hmm.
and the Lukaku's and the De Bruyne's, for example. Some of them are still there, but they're a bit longer in the tooth
Mm-hmm.
at this point in the career.
Yeah.
If I was to compare, I would almost compare what happened with Belgium to what happened with Norway in terms of you have a nice couple of players emerging. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I find with those kind of countries, they always have a generation here or there, but it's not necessarily something that's sustained. You must remember that before
Mm-hmm.
2014, I don't think Belgium had a qualify for World Cup since 2002, I think, or maybe 1998. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
for that. I'll go fact check. But I remember it was a long time that before they went to World Cup. With this before this generation. So that's all I meant. So I think that sometimes the expectation on teams like Belgium that actually go and win something, it feels to me sometimes to be a bit far fetched. Not saying it can happen, but I never felt, even with their talented players, I never felt that they were, by far. To me, they were a contender, but they weren't by far. Like I would say, well, they were my favorite swimming, if that makes sense.
I
And
understand.
that sentiment is even more poignant now that the players are a bit older and some of them have left the group, right?
But to be honest, right, you know what I found interesting? Belgium's best performance, because I think both of us had USA to beat them, right?
Based on
Belgium's
performances, yeah,
best performance, yeah, Belgium's best performance was that USA game, and it felt like it was because the game had an extra edge to it because of what was happening behind the scenes. So I
yes,
felt like that gave them an extra. Honestly, that's the best Belgium have played this World Cup. Um, Even in games that they've won before, they've been disappointed, and it felt like why does it take a little extra oomph? I mean, you're already playing the World Cup. Why does it take something like that controversy that was happening behind the scenes to almost give you an extra 5-10%? I feel that you should have that because you're in the World Cup. But I never played the game, so maybe I'm talking nonsense.
fair enough. But I mean, I don't entirely disagree with you about expecting more from them. It kind of got me between, I kind of so on Belgium in terms of, I know, you can say that, but at the same time, I also recognize that at the end of a cycle, so you might not get the same performance that might have gotten in other World Cups because although they didn't win, they did have some standout games in the 2014 tournament, the 2018 tournament. I think 2018 in the whole Brazil. 2014, I think they went semifinals. So they had some standout performances that I could say, well, it did, relatively okay or decent, I should say. But yeah, I wasn't expecting them to beat Spain. You call Spain boring, I guess, to each his own. I wouldn't go as far as
Oh,
calling them
God.
boring, but I think
I
Spain, the
said
way
they
Spain
bored.
play, they made the game a very tactical affair.
Yeah, they do.
But I think, and I guess we get into it more when it comes to semifinal or our predictions. I think though, like certain Arsenal, mind the pun, they have a certain Arsenal in terms of the profile players that you have to really, trouble Spain, so to speak. I don't think Spain's our team that you can really have the ball more than them too often. And then it becomes a game about you trying to create chances against them. I think it's more like, with Spain, I think it's more a game where you go and make the most of the transitions that you might get. And in order to win, in transition, you have to have a certain, kind of profile up there.
Yeah. All right. So you take the lead on the next game. Sure, you have a lot to say.
No, I mean, okay. So the next game was England, Norway. England 1-1. But basically, I guess you can see that I'm a little bit happy about it. But I wasn't. Okay, so let me start here. I expected England to win. I expected England to come through the Norway game. What I didn't expect though was I didn't expect the game to almost call on the same sort of qualities that England had to show against Mexico. I was more expecting England's football to be the talking point in terms of them showing they're a better team than Norway. Right? That didn't materialize, and England had to call on the great determination fight, whatever you want to call it, a bit of individual brilliance from a certain Jude Bellingham to get over the line. But I wasn't happy with the performance. I still think rather that certain members of the starting that have been playing the starting 11 are producing, and I still feel as though there's certain little adjustments that Tuchel might need to make to the starting 11 or to the personnel that he calls upon to get a better, more consistent level performance. Because I really believe that England were fortunate against Norway, especially in that second half.
Yeah. It's okay. So at the beginning of the tournament, we talked about Tuchel probably likely protecting Saka. But Saka don't look like he need much protect. I mean, I ain't there, but Saka don't look like he need protecting. Why are y'all still persisting with this Madueke experiment? I know I saw a stat. He's created something like the most chances or something without registering an assist. Look, my eyes don't deceive me. Okay? Stats, whatever. But my eyes don't deceive me. He's not playing well. He's playing very poorly. Why is he still starting ahead of Saka? I don't get it. I'm sorry. I just do not get it. I think that you guys have been, let me give credit where credit is due. You mentioned it. Great determination. They show that against Mexico. They show that again on Saturday. But again, it's the quality of the two world class players. I think England genuinely has two world class players. And I think those two world class players are who is carrying on right now. Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham is having a fantastic tournament. Um, I don't know where y'all would be. And to think there were conversations before this World Cup about if Bellingham was gonna start. It's crazy to me. Oh, who's gonna start in the 10? Is it gonna be Rogers? Is it gonna be this buddy? I mean, Bellingham clearly is head and shoulders above anybody y'all have in that position. And it's not only the player he is the his attitude is very good as well. It's like he doesn't back down. He thrives. That's the word I'm looking for. He thrives in these moments, and they're really carrying y'all at the moment. I think y'all defense again. Norway kind of let y'all off the hook a couple of occasions. I think y'all defense is still sus. Um, I think you can definitely tell that Rice is not fully fit. Probably just pressing through. And yeah, Garden is showing little flashes here and there, but I think you said it to me as well. We were talking about game over the weekend. I think Rashford could be utilized a bit more in this squad. But yeah, I think the quality that you guys have is what is really carrying y'all through this tournament so far. I don't think as a team y'all are playing brilliantly, but I think certain individuals are stepping up when y'all need it.
Well, all right. So let me start with the Saka point, and then I'm trying to be as quick as I can. Saka isn't fully fit. So I know you say he doesn't really he needs protecting, but apparently he has some Achilles issue that they're trying to manage. So I'm not sure. I
Okay.
guess that's what's kind of like stopping him from playing games in succession. I think he only started one game in tournament so far, and that would have been the last group game, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if he started any other games in tournament so far. Um, at least I can remember, or maybe he started against Mexico too. But maybe two games and the rest is like off the bench. That's when he hasn't been starting. Um, it's
Okay.
unfortunate because I think a fully fit Saka would play ahead of Madueke, but it is what it is. Like you said, I don't think Madueke is playing well. He's not producing. He rarely beats his opposing defender. And even on the odd occasion when he does get past the opposing defender, his final ball or final decision, lets him down. That's basically what it is. Like you said, Gordon has had his moments, had his little glimpses or little flashes of quality, but I think Marcus Rashford is a far better player than Anthony Gordon, and really and truly should be, the automatic starter on the left wing. But that's just me. That's just my opinion. Declan Rice, again, like you said, had a long season. We knew we knew that he was playing through some injury issues throughout the season for Arsenal, and then I think he needed to the Norway game. He also had like some sort of illness issue, something like that. So I think that's why he went off at halftime. Clearly, he wasn't fully fit to carry on. Um, but like you said, with England, it's all about Jude. It's all about Jude's determination. Hurricane's quality as well, but yeah, I think the Morgan Rogers, Jude Bellingham thing. I don't think it was so much a case of a debate over whether Morgan Rogers should start ahead of him. I don't think that should ever be a debate, but or at least not at this stage. But I think what had happened was the fact that Jude had the late start of the campaign last year after he showed a surgery. I think it was, and the initial squads that Tuchel was picking, he left them out, and Rogers was playing well. So I guess, and then remember there was a little issue with Tuchel and Bellingham where Tuchel made a comments as well. So I guess the narrative was this Tuchel and Bellingham see eye to eye. Will Tuchel be the person that leaves them out if his attitude is not right, so to speak? But Tuchel mad, but he ain't that bad. Left home Jude. But it wouldn't be. I don't think you would have any defense unless you win the whole shebang, which I don't obviously couldn't have done it without Jude. So, like to answer your question, where would England be without Jude? Probably home already. Um, yeah. So, but my concern is that I think they definitely need to play a lot better, do a lot more with the ball on Wednesday. That's where, and again, we mentioned the defense. Defense is a bit sus. Even Pickford, that goal that Norway scored, Pickford misjudged drop. You know, so there's a lot to work on. I'm happy to see that Tuchel, because I think Tuchel was honest in terms of calling out that he wasn't happy with performance. I'm happy to see that he's not like almost like lying to you, lying to the audience and saying, well, you know, he's applauding the fight and determination that they showed, but he's not like giving you the notion that they're actually playing well. He's not hiding anything.
But what is it with you guys media trying to make that a thing with him and the players?
And I
Like
can't help.
a man, like come on, it's the middle of a World Cup. Everybody fighting for one thing. He is a I love when managers are honest. What was he supposed to say? Oh, we were so fantastic in the game. We deserve to win. No, be honest. I
But I
didn't
think
think
I
he
think
openly criticized any players. He just said that the performance wasn't where it should be.
where it wasn't where it should be, and I think the comments that Drew gave directly after the game where he said whatever stuff like that. I don't. I'm not so sure that was even really directed towards Tuchel. Um, I think it was more like Jude in his mind just defending the players, defending the effort that they put in.
Which
I
is what
think Jude was
players would
kind of
do
irritated with the
anyways.
question to begin with. That's
Exactly.
my interpretation of it. I think he was just kind of irritated with the question. I might have come off like, he going against his manager per se, but I don't think it was that. I think it was more like just irritation at the question. I remember one of the things they said that was very important. We said, so far in this tournament we've created a positive vibe that that's how we should continue. So I think that was where that mostly came from.
Yeah, always
But
stirring the pot. It's so
yeah,
unnecessary.
yeah. All right. We have one more part of final to go. Actually, before we go off the England game though, anything that you want to
Yeah, I thought Norway deserved more out of the game. To be honest, I felt that they were decent. I felt like they performed better. Or it could have been England were more lackluster than it was expected, but I thought that they were decent. It sucks that Haaland did at least get one opportunity, but yeah, kudos to them. Their first quarterfinal, and yeah, I hope that with their, like you said, they have a nice generation now. I hope that they could possibly build on it. But yeah, I would have
Um,
liked to see them be all.
yeah, to me, I share your sentiment. I think Norway played quite well. You know, they were, I won't say unlucky. I think they might have been unlucky in the sense that they weren't able to create a clear opportunity for Haaland that I can remember. I think most of the chances that they had in the second half were like set pieces that really kind of troubled England in that second half. But I think where the game could have been, or where they could have really put themselves in a strong position to advance, was that chance where they broke on England. Started off, could have really bothered Haaland and decided that he was not going to do that. And allow England get numbers back behind the ball, and then the chance got snuffed out. Um, yeah, so that was probably the game there. If that's 2-0 down, I'm not sure how England were playing. I'm not sure England come back from 2-0 down in that game, but we would never know.
Yeah, I told a guy at church the same thing yesterday. I think that had Norway taken that opportunity at 2-0, yeah, I expected England to score at some point, but I don't think that they would have come back. But Russia adrenaline to the brain. You see a name in lights, decide to do
Yeah.
madness.
So we have one more quarterfinal, and that was Argentina coming out victorious 3-1 at extra time against Switzerland. Um, all right, so this game had in one major talking point. I think we all know what the talking point was, but essentially, this is the third game in the knockout round where Argentina would have started a match as favourites, but they've been taken on quite a trail, quite a ride, quite a fight to get through in the end. How are you feeling if you're an Argentina fan, Marissa?
That again, home in the semifinal. I mean, I could say it two ways. Same thing I told the
uh,
guy at church yesterday. I said it two ways. They're either going home or they're giving it. Because they may just scam them way to, to this World Cup. Because honestly, Argentina have been incredibly underwhelming. And we talk about Jude's impact for England. Without Messi, they'll probably be home too. Like, they just, I don't know. Like, you go 1-0 up so early,
mhm.
go and dominate and win the game. How much extra times they've had now? Three?
Two.
Two?
Yeah, two.
Two?
Yeah.
I don't know. As an Argentina fan, of course, World Cup semifinal, you'll be excited, but I'll also be worried, to be honest.
Well, I mean, I see it slightly
I'm
differently.
not convinced that they
Okay.
win.
You're not convinced
I'm
that
not
they win?
convinced that they win. I wanted them to go through because I felt like that's the better game to get England sent home.
Mhm.
But I'm not convinced. I'm not
Oh,
convinced that Argentina beats England this week. But
okay.
go ahead.
Okay. So like the Argentina England game, for me, and I'll mention it. Well, no, let me not start there. Let me go. Let me focus on the Argentina only.
Hmm.
I see it slightly different to you. So like the Cape Verde game, to me, they were flat, right?
Yes,
And I got a bit of a scare because Cape Verde would kind of
the
kept
opposite.
finding themselves,
Every
kept finding
time.
equalizer, right? And
Yeah.
pushing it. Um, Against Egypt, I felt like although the scoreline looks close, but for me, like how the game planned out, the game that I watched, everybody for the better team. They created a host of chances. To me, on a regular day, that game would have finished maybe I don't know 4 or 5-2 to Argentina instead of 3-2 because remember the first half, the Egyptian keeper made a lot of really top quality saves. And if you think about it, yeah, Egypt had one of their goals controversy shot off a foul in the build up. But um, Argentina were always creating, always getting good decent clear cut opportunities, good chances. So I felt as though the closeness to the scoreline didn't really reflect Argentina's performance per se. Now, this game against Switzerland, uh, like you said, to get the early goal, feel the kick on. Switzerland looked the better team, and then there's this huge turning point in the game where Switzerland sent off a simulation, and then they win the extra. I mean, if I'm Argentina, regardless of how you get there, I'm happy that I got there. Like you said,
Right.
it's a good quality to have. I guess some great determination fight as well. And as you mentioned, I think the England Argentina game will be a very, very close one. I think that's really, for me, that's really 50-50. Yeah. But I guess we got to talk about the signing off, right? And I'll go first on signing off. I'll be specific clear. No, people may not know, but the rule was changed in the sense that VAR can now intervene and tell referees, that they made a mistake in terms of brandishing out yellow cards as well as red cards. So it isn't only limited to serious foul play anymore.
Yeah,
There was
because I did see that they said VAR review mistaken identity. So I know a lot of people were kicking up fuss over it, but now I understand. I didn't know that the rule had changed. So that makes sense. Go ahead.
it's one of those rules that changed right before the World Cup. If a mistake, it's okay. But the thing is that there was contact on the Swiss player, but we all saw that he was going down before the contact came, right? So, by letter law, to me, it is simulation. The problem is that the referee but Paredes, which meant that he got that really yellow card from Paredes and give it to somebody else. So it's unfortunate that it happened in a game of such a magnitude. It's unfortunate for Switzerland that it happened at such a pivotal time in the game. But I don't really think you could fault the referee for what it's not his fault. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I don't know why this was so controversial for people. Like, even without knowing that the rule changed, I I thought that it was clear simulation. Like, man, he in the wrong sport. Could go
Yeah.
diving at the Olympics because it was a clear and obvious dive. So then now that you explain, because like I said, I did see the whole thing and I was a bit confused. I was like, why is it mistaken identity? But I guess because the referee booked Paredes because he thought Paredes made a foul, but really the yellow card should have been for the other player. So it wasn't it's unfortunate, but it's not as controversial as people trying to make it out to be honest.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. So I mean, and obviously going to man down will change the game, and Argentina were biting this tendency, and it was just a case of Argentina. You said if it was from Messi is having an outstanding World Cup, but Argentina's supporting cast are doing their bit as well. I think McAllister, I think Enzo, I think Alvarez, Martinez when he's played. I think they're all contributing. I think Argentina have a very, very good attack. Good forward minded players. Where Argentina's problem lies is in that defense because I don't trust their two center backs. You call a spade a spade, a spade a spade. I think Martinez and Romero have them. So I think it's an area position where the opposition will get chances as well. Right? But the problem with Argentina is that their forward line is very, very difficult to contain also. So it's really catch 22.
Yeah. So that brings us nicely to previewing the semifinals. The first one is tomorrow, France versus Spain. Um, gosh, this is a tough one to call because, like you said, Spain are a very tactical side. Not saying that France isn't, but France have the dynamism, the flair, the world class players, the star quality, like you like to say. Um, I've been seeing a lot of chat, mostly from Spain, about this game. The French have been very quiet. I like that. Um, but I would say France. I think it's going to be a tight game. I could see it being a 1-0, to be honest. I could even see it going to extra time and penalties, to be honest, because I think it's going to be tight. I think Spain, as I said, you can't look past a defense that has only conceded once for the entire tournament. And then you can't look past an attack that is so dynamic either. So I would say a tight game, but I have France to win 1-0.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a very entertaining game. So I think this is one game where you might not be bored. when it comes to watching Spain. I honestly think, like you said, I think France has shown through the entire tournament that they can get goals at will. And I think it's just a case of whether or not Spain can negate France's attacking threat, which I'm not so
Yeah.
sure about. I don't think you keep Mbappe and Dembele and Doué and that well for attacking riches. I don't think you keep them out of the game for 90 plus minutes. And that's virtually impossible. Um, so I think I think France shit it because, and there's a reason why. I think Spain would try to dominate the ball, but France has good technical players that they can dominate the ball as well. So again, I think the game inevitably will become about transitions. I think that both teams will have phases of the game where they're on top. I think it's going to be about transitions. I would back France to exploit Spain,
Yeah.
in transition with that high lane that they like to play. And the pace that France has up top. So that's where I think the game will be decided. And that's why I'm picking France to win. And I'm going to say, I don't think they extra time. I think France wins 2 or 3-1.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. We'll see. We'll see. England, Argentina. Ugh, look, I know what you said about Argentina all,
Uh,
but I just ain't seeing it. I know. Yes, they have created a lot of chances in games, and they just have not been clinical enough. I get it. They've missed a couple penalties. I get it. But I just feel that England game in this game, and I'm just mentally preparing myself right now. Um,
but you say mentally prepare yourself like if you were expecting a medium burst that ridiculous.
Listen to me. You think that I
Go
want
ahead.
to watch the prep season next season? I hear world champion, world champion, world champion every 5 seconds. No, please. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Like you said, Argentina's defense. I know we talked about England's defense being sus, but it's the same for Argentina's defense too. Um, I don't rate Latir not Latira. The other Martinez, what's he first? Lisandro, right? Well, I don't rate Lisandro Martinez or Christian Romero as individual players, that alone a partnership. And I think again, Kane is in some fantastic form. Bellingham is in fantastic form. I just think England can win this.
Appreciate your confidence. You want to give me the grenade before I go?
2-1 England through gritted teeth.
Fair enough. um, I think this game is a close. It will be a close game. Um, here's the thing. I think you can make an argument for both teams in terms of their strengths and weaknesses. Like Argentina's center back partnership might be, error prone. As I said, it's England's back four doesn't always cope well. Doesn't look formidable. I think England's midfield in terms of Declan Rice and Elliot Anderson at times need to do more in terms of dominating or controlling games or to use a better word, imposing themselves on the opposition. I think that they need to do a better job of that sometimes. Is Saka going to be fit to start, or we can get Noni to this 45 minutes again? We will see. Is Rafa going to get a start, or is Tuchel going to try Gordon again? So there are questions in both teams. Messi is going to have his moments inevitably. The one thing about Messi is that you can't stop him from getting the ball because he finds spaces on the pitch where even if it's shut on one area of the pitch and you have him a bit quiet, he can pop up somewhere else and have the influence. Alvarez, Lautaro Martinez, Nico Gonzalez, McAllister, Enzo, Kimber controlling and detaining the tempo and flow of a game. They can run in midfield, play that much. Pretty much. So, and then, Argentina and them dark arts. You know what I mean?
Very shaky, in my opinion.
Don't be surprised, right, viewers, if this game has another controversial moment or two in it as well. I don't want that to happen, but I would not be surprised because England and Argentina in a World Cup tend to throw up those are incidents.
Was this
And
the hand of God fixture?
it was the Beckham sign up record fixture with a lot of things. So and England have too often been on the wrong side of it in the major tournament. So they'll be hoping that can end
It's one
Wednesday.
time.
But I said all that. Say this, and and something else I mentioned. I think Argentina might have a more reliable goalkeeper in Martinez.
But
In my
both
opinion,
still got dodgy moments in them.
yes, yes, yes. But I think Argentina's manager, Scaloni, I think he showed that he's a very good coach. So Tuchel, it's not a case where Tuchel, managing to get somebody that clear that you will fancy him to get it better off tactically. Scaloni's a very, very intelligent man as well. So this game is going to be down to fine margins. But I'm hoping, I'm hoping that England will win 2-1 and get the final. I'll hope for that. That's more hope than a prediction.
Well, I just don't need England final. I want to watch this final in peace and enjoy it. I don't want to watch this final feeling tense and anxious and nervous. So Argentina, please show up,
The
please.
bad
I
thing
beg
about
you.
it, right, is that even if England were to win the semi-final, I'm not sure. This may throw the whole tournament. I'm not sure England beats either of the two other semi-finals in Spain and France.
I do
I
think the winner comes from that semifinal, though. To be honest.
Correct, exactly. So I think I actually think England will probably prefer to play Spain because I think
Mm.
the right approach, the physicality, the pace that England try to exploit in wide areas and in transition might more suit a Spain than a France because I think France, will handle that kind of thing better.
Mm. Good point.
Like you said, I anticipate that the World Cup winner will come from the France Spain semi-final and not the England or Argentina one, but we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. All right, so um, that brings us to the end of another show. The World Cup has kept us going longer this season than expected, but hasn't been bad. Games have been entertaining and stuff, and let's hope starting tomorrow we'll have some thrilling fixtures, some controversy less fixtures, hopefully. Um, but just a quick word though, how would you rate overall the refereeing of the tournament? Overall, VAR and the on-field referees.
Um, I would say probably an 8 or 9 because then I don't really see I don't really recall or can't really recall rather many obvious errors that were made. Like for example, I think the people had an issue with the Egypt goal that was disallowed against Argentina, where I think somebody stood on somebody's foot and he built up. But
Harsh, but it was a foul.
harsh, but it was a foul. I mean, the only viable complaint that you could make was that it happened all the way by Egypt penalty box. So a lot happened in between there. So should we have gone all the way back to disallow it? But it was the same phase. It was the same phase, or it was the start of Egypt's phase attack basically. So I mean, I think the referee has been okay. I trying to think of if there's any game where I thought the only thing I would say with referees and VAR that they have done I have not necessarily liked was that there are certain instances in the tournament where players have received red cards, for instance, and I thought as though the VAR was punishing the outcome and not the challenge itself. Just for
Mm.
one physical game, you could have a very serious injury and it has nothing to do with the severity of the tackle. It may be a fair challenge. Actually, there were fair challenges. Like I would say the challenge that unfortunately brought the guy from Canada's leg in group stage. I that the guy got a 6 game ban for. I'm like, we see that kind of tackle every day.
Mm.
And it's just a free. It's almost to me it was like a free incident that his leg got broken horribly. But I don't feel as though you're punishing. I don't think you're really punishing tackle. You're punishing the outcome. Then the one that happened with Balogun, that was clearly accidental. And you punish your outcome because in a replay it looked bad. But you're punishing your outcome. You're punishing the challenge itself.
Fair. Yeah, I think the refereeing has been pretty decent as well. Um, I hope the PGMOL are watching.
Yeah.
I think games have generally flowed nicely. Um, yeah, I haven't hated it. All right, so thank you for joining us on another episode of the Dugout Podcast. I think we have one more show. Yeah, one more show. Where that show would be and the context that show will take still to be decided. But we have one more show coming up. The day of the final, which is Sunday. But in the meantime, of course, you can follow us on our socials, the Duggo underscore podcast. You can follow me, Risa Simone91, and you can follow Andrew at Drew9106. And of course, our sponsors, Whole Health Pharmacy and Spirit Life Studios. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And over to my co host to see if he has anything to add.
Yes. Thank you for joining us, and we do hope you're enjoying the content. We appreciate the support, the little that we have, but we still appreciate it. And as always, please like, share, and subscribe.
All right. And on that note, see you again